Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another backtesting video. Just get this microphone perfect. So just touching in from yesterday's potential trade. So ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't a trade. What I needed to see, or what I would like to see, was although we had the high time frame cracking correlation at the lows below the true month open, which is above. Let's just where's this daily one? Okay, so we don't have it on that. Should be on that candle there. Great start. That's the video. Okay, so yeah, perfect. That candle there. So below the true month open, SMT, purge of a daily low, perfect. I want to see that SMT with YM. Market ultimately confirms high probability bullish order block H4. So this forms on the previous day. Market obviously trades in, and there's a potential part of a trade. However, when we go into the following day, that's still valid, if you will. So what I wanted to see based on the hourly was high time frame cracking correlation here, which we didn't see, and that would have been the catalyst to take this trade for higher prices. And why? Because it hadn't met the invalidation levels of daily key price levels. Okay, right, so let's continue. I'm going to remove stuff. Let's get rid of that level, that there. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that as well for now. And there. And this previous day's high can go. That imbalance can go as well. Okay, so I want to venture back out to the daily, see what we've got. So clearly we're targeting the high. We can see that YM just traded through its high, and quite likely YM wants to trade up to these highs here. Not necessarily certain that ES and NQ will do the same, but it's plausible. Just going to go out to the weekly. That'll be why. There we go. So we can get rid of that. So sorry, ES did trade up into that. There we go. And that wouldn't have presented a trade because of the M5 displacement. By the time it came in, it was trade. The trade was not. It's not on. Just bear with me a second. Apologies for that. Okay, we're back. So yeah, let's delve down into the H4. I'm going to get rid of this one here. Okay. Just want to look at H4 order flow, but first and foremost, we just want to mark up all of our key levels. So that there, to here, there. We come into here, there. Sorry, we want to go back to the hourly. I need to move this on. That's 3 o'clock. So go to next session. Okay. Okay. Student consolidation. Go to next session. Okay. Now we can go back to the 4 hour. Perfect. So we've got that there, that high there. We're obviously seeing potential at the highs at the old high daily, and this one here. So we want to mark off those key price levels. Sorry, it's distracting myself. Okay, we want that, and we want that. Take those two over to here. Okay, so there. Okay. Now I'm obviously looking at this level here. Got to there for now. What we're determining here is if we're going to likely see higher prices, then this aligned BISI should hold. It's going to enlarge NQ a little bit, just so we got a better, there we go, okay. And not so, I mean, yes, there is very small one here. Okay, so that's what we want to see there. Okay, and 6 o'clock, that's not a, obviously saw S&T in there, but that's not an aligned low, so we'll leave that for now. So we've got some key price levels that we're working with here. Order flow on the H4 appears bullish for now, and that's the day we're in, so we're not confirming this BISI yet. Okay. And traded through an old high and displaced through and closed. So let's start some analysis. So IOF. So currently, to me, still to the daily. Okay, this is where it's interesting now. So if we're looking at the weekly, to me it's still bearish. We would need to see a violation of a premium PD array before we can flip. So currently, weekly and daily IOF remains bearish until I note a violation of a premium PDA. So ideally an imbalance or old high. Okay. Important to note that the market has found support at the BISI weekly, coupled with high time frame SMT at the lows. Therefore, I will be monitoring to confirm follow through to establish higher prices. Okay, so that's what we've got currently. If we drop down to the daily, well, if we actually go to the 4 hour, we can see that. So if we relative to the H4TF, the market has I've noted that old lows are being manipulated whilst old highs are being displaced through. Okay, so that supports potential near-term higher prices, and we've got a lot of stat liquidity above us, so that is certainly going to support the idea of higher prices. And with our next likely draw could be here, which I will mark up. And what I want to see actually is sorry, bear with me. That started the week there. Yeah, so it's an old high daily. I don't think we've got a no. Okay. Just bear with me a second. So it's Okay. Is that there? Oh, excuse me. And we can get rid of that one from here. And that's the high that we're after there. Okay, so just wanted to add additional liquidity pools just for context visibility. ERL/IRL. So okay, so the market traded down into tunnel range liquidity in the form the BC weekly, where I noted high time frame SMT at the lows, supporting higher prices. Therefore, my immediate attention turned to the old high daily, which has been purged on ES and NQ. Sorry, ES and YM. Apologies. Monitoring NQ. Okay, so with that, it's plausible that we could see price trade to, at a minimum, let's just get a fresh level, at a minimum to a premium of this range, at a minimum. I'm just gonna get rid of this one. It is plausible that the market could trade up into a premium of the range before seeking potential lower prices. Okay. SPs, I've noted the clean and clear swing points above and below current price, referencing the previous day's high and previous day's low. Okay. These key price levels have formed. Sorry, let's just drop down to the H4. So as we can see, they formed either side of the true week open. The true week open, where near term liquidity would reside. And if purged, could support high probability trade idea. Okay, TOs. So currently all members are above their true week open. Which would typically support high probability shorts. Okay, but this would need to be coupled by a high time frame cracking correlation at the highs. Okay. So cracking correlation, I had noted the high time frame SMT at the lows, supporting the idea of higher prices, which has delivered. And could support a continuation seeking high prices. However, I would like to see a new high time frame cracking correlation to support any trade idea. Okay, so I want to see cracking correlation either at the lows or the highs, depending on the model that we're looking to select to support potential trade idea. Okay. Okay, so excuse me. So we're going down to game plan territory. We're going to drop down to the hourly time frame. Again, remember we've got no news. So we'll be relying on the equities open volatility to provide the injection. Okay, so for London low. We do have Asia low, but that hasn't yet formed. I don't believe anyway. No, sorry, to light has. So we can get that. Right, so back to the hourly. Okay. Then do have this imbalance here. So just going to mark this up, although this won't necessarily be all and end all. If this is purged, I'd be looking at the H4 down here as my not real, but high probability point of interest. Let's say that. Okay. Oh God. Okay. So, do we have any BPRs or anything of that nature? There's obviously with a Kraken correlation there. Let's have a look on the H4. Maybe, but that's long gone. That's long gone. There is qualify this as low time frame. Do that. Okay. And I'm going to mark this off like so. And we're just going to reference the Asia low, which got purged there. Okay. That supported the idea of higher prices. Now, haven't yet seen a purge of all three. It's very likely we're going to see higher prices, but still needs to be established. We could see a short-term play down to the H4 inflection point before we see higher prices. That is very much plausible. Just bear with me a second. Okay, we're back. Now, it is important to note that that we have purged a daily level, and I do want to just drop back out to the H4 just to see this. So that's the daily level here. That is extremely important to note, although that daily level is not above the true week open, so I'm not, unless we're in a daily imbalance, which does make it somewhat interesting. Still leaning towards higher prices because of the displacement, but I just want to monitor this because we have traded into a daily imbalance, which I suppose the first thing to confirm is that the only daily imbalance that we've traded up into, and it is. So if we're going to see fair value, we'd be anticipating it from around this imbalance area. So this is interesting. We'll need to see an overlap of confidences, which again we are seeing, but we're also seeing strong displacement to the upside. So until I have full confirmation, which is going to be a 4-hour high probability order block, and this looks quite messy in terms of the market purged the high, which would have been this candle, rejected, wanting to see price trade below this level here. This is the candle responsible for purging that. It didn't. And it's continued higher. So to me, it is somewhat supporting higher prices, but I will mark that off. But it is supporting higher prices. So in terms of game plan, what would I want to see? Okay, well, number one, let's have a look at our situational selections. So with price, above the 2-week open, and with H4 order flow appearing bullish, hang on, let's just analyze. Okay. If the market trades down into the BCH4 and forms a high time frame SMT, this could support higher prices. Two, with the market above the 2-week open and currently unconfirmed high time frame SMT at the highs, this could support a near term move lower to the H4 inflection level. So that's certainly possible. Um, three. Okay, so with no, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Yes, with price being below the true month open, but appearing to reject from a CB daily, if coupled by a high time frame SMT at the highs, um, hmm, I'm not. No, I'm gonna remove that model because I'm not convinced. I think if we have a Kraken correlation at the previous day's high, that presents a different model, which I think would be far more plausible to take. So I think those two models for me. Now, admittedly, we have seen SMT. So I am gonna note actually this third model. At the BISI H1. So with price being above the true week open, if the market trades down into the BISI H1 and forms a low time frame PDA SMT or low time frame SMT, this could support further high prices. Okay, so with that, we're just going to mark up the key level here. Okay, so that would be would need to see so for game plan 3, we would need to see clear low time frame confluences to support the trade idea. Okay, so analysis complete. Let's drop down to the M15, put in our timestamps. Okay, we're going to stick on the M15. Okay, so we like that relative equal highs on NQ. I'm not sure if it's going to present the best necessarily opportunity, but we'll see. It is SMT at the highs here, driving price lower. So we've got to get to 8:30 anyway, so I'm going to keep it at the 5-minute. I'm not going to worry too much about an early trade entry. We'll get to 8:30 before we do anything. So we've seen the expansion higher. None of them traded into the, and they have all purged the previous day's high. This is interesting now. So I'm just going to venture back out to the 4-hour, because what we now have, we can get rid of this level here, but what we do have is and a symmetrical purge. So yeah, we're still outside of the trade window, so would want to see an hourly high probability order block, and we're not going to see that because the market is repricing higher and NQ is now tapped into that high. So that's we can confirm now higher prices are certainly more likely. Okay. YM already trading above its true month open. Okay, so we're going to just go forward a little bit further. Probably looking at equities open, to be fair. I just want to drop out to the hourly, sorry, the 4-hour first. See what we've got. So it's highly likely that this 4-hour BIS is going to form displacement through that high, which indicates higher prices. So we haven't got the confirmed BIS yet on the H1 time frame, so we'll continue. Okay, so now we're getting towards equities open. I'm going to drop down to the 1-minute. The hourly 9 o'clock candle is completed, so now we have, in fact, so I don't have to redraw everything all over again. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. And we're just going to put this up here. And take that level. So Okay, so that's the levels that we're looking at now. They've all purged that daily high, so I'm certainly not favouring shorts. We're going to get to equities open now and see what the market wants to deliver. Looking at, we've got the M15 liquidity pool. So we need an M15. An M50. So we've seen an M15 purge here. No M15 purges there at all. We'll continue. So we haven't got to equities open yet. Getting there now. So before, well, second before, look at YM, run to that liquidity pool. Interesting. Okay, bear with me a second. Apologies about that. So let's just get back in tune. So we just dropped down to the M5. What we're looking at here is obviously you've got these lows here, which if we sort of look at, we can just put an unconfirmed for that for the time being. And if we take that there, and if we take, now admittedly it's you know, it's actually this, like, but that's not the lowest low in the area. It's obviously here. So rather interesting here. I'm going to keep it on the M5. I want to see if we see any M5 displacement. We've obviously seen it on YM, but they're obviously repricing in completely different ways. Now I want to go back out to the hourly. Don't have a swing high of any sort. NQ is certainly making a beeline lower, but right now all members are respecting the BISI, so currently nothing to panic over. So currently markets are decoupled, so very low probability conditions. need to wait. NQ certainly pricing lower down towards this imbalance, which is it's not ideal, let's call it that. Okay, so I'm going to take these reference points off just because they're loosely distracting. Okay, and there we go. Now, to me, I'm not looking at this. I'm looking at that as a liquidity pool. I'm not looking at it as this is a cracking correlation. There's nothing here for me to view. I still think the market wants to reprice bullish. And in fact, looking at once it gets that 10 o'clock, so there's no model for me at the highs. So right now I'm not concentrating on trying to engage the market in any way. We were very clear. We wanted to see if we got a cracking correlation above the previous day's high. That didn't happen. All of the members purged their highs. Fine. So then we were looking at a potential model from the hourly imbalance. Well, that's invalid now. And also with the markets decoupled as well. Ideally want to see that imbalance between the S and NQ. That's down, and NQ's clearly trading lower, and there was, to be fair, there was no displacement, M5 displacement or anything of that nature. And the other model which we wanted to look at, which was down here at the the BCH4, well, that looks like it's going to take a while to formulate that trade idea. So want to see this 4-hour candle close is what I'm alluding to before, so we can definitely go monitoring price. Okay, now interesting. So that is the H4. Want to see the candle close. Okay. So got two things that have occurred here. Just going to get rid of this SMT. It's not required. Get rid of that. We can get rid of that. Okay, so what we have is that symmetrical low there in an imbalance, and this tiny purge there. Now we could see a deeper purge. What would be preferable is if it decided to purge this H4 low, but it's not necessary. So we want to see a H1 liquidity pool, obviously. Bear with me. Okay. not looking at because ideally I want to see a H1 liquidity purge, which we haven't seen. Okay, well let's see what happens currently. It's not ideal scenario, that must be said, but let's see if we get a. So we've seen a deeper purge there. Okay. Interesting candle. So just dropping down to the M5. Just want to see what we've got. Got an imbalance in here. What I don't like is the lack of a H1 liquidity purge. We do have the M15. We've got one here, and we've got another one there. Just going to mark off this level. Get rid of that and that. Focusing primarily on yes, an NQ. We are below, certainly on NQ true day open, and so going to wait for the M15 candle to close on NQ. So far, it's not indicating higher prices at all. Okay, so we're still not seeing a motivation to want to trade higher. Okay, now we're getting that motivation. I'm going to just check in on no imbalance, but ultimately that purged the Asia. Oh bloody hell, it did. So we had an imbalance here, but it violated it don't like the price action, so I'm not engaging in this. Likely see the market reprice higher. Although, yes, there is the M15 confluence here. Which but we still want to see some form of, we've got the displacement here, but as you can see, traded down, violated it. So we're not seeing respect of even M5 fair value gaps. That's why I'm not keen. Now we are seeing the inversion fair value gap, but it does I'd like to have seen respect of the M5. We've certainly seen that with ES, but as we can see with ES, we had to wait for NQ to confirm. NQ's only now confirming, but I'm just going to play it on because we still need NQ to confirm its candle, which it literally just about did. So I'm not going to take anything on this. We're going to play this one out and see what I was going. Oh no, I'm not going to the M5. What I'm going to do is just change that to the M5. We'll step in. Got a deeper purge here, and further, if we look on the hourly, deeper purge. So good setup for a PM session or something move, but for me, let's trade it down into the propulsion, to the high probability order blocks. That could well be deemed a propulsion block. Again, want to see NQ. Was there an M5 imbalance in there? No, it's all balanced. So again, wouldn't necessarily look for anything as we approach lunch hour. And I'll leave it there. So although the market did reprice higher, market purged some upside targets that we had outlined. However, there was no framework for me to engage. I thought at the end that we may get something, but NQ clearly indicated that it was not willing to go higher following the high time frame displacement lower. So interesting price action. Going to leave this one here. Hopefully you took something away from this one. Always ask if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, or why not subscribe to the channel. I know I kind of leave this late in the video, therefore it's unlikely that you, well, hopefully people watch through to the end and they hear me say this and they kindly subscribe to the channel. That would be really greatly received if you'd be so kind. But I'm going to leave this one here. As I said, hopefully you've taken something away from that. In terms of patience is key, and looking for the confluences that confirm a trade entry. Those confluences weren't here for me. I was not seeing respect of M5 imbalances inside of the high probability order block to support higher prices. Didn't happen on NQ, did happen on ES. Therefore, there's no symmetry, therefore there's no trade. So we waited. And when we continued to wait, we could see that NQ wanted to reprice lower. We will see in the high time frame displacement, respect of those imbalances, as we can see here, respect of that imbalance, which in theory we should really mark up in time as we're going through. So we would have had that there. Balanced price range here, but did trade through and then seems to have respected it. But ultimately, we can see that this was not looking for lower prices. Therefore, there's no trade. And if we go out to the hourly, we can quite clearly see that this displacement BPR as well, you know, not conducive of lower prices. So I'm going to leave this one here. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you took something away, and I will catch you guys in the next one.